Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I am running a little bit behind the time because I had so much to do. As you can see, I'm back in the teddy bear room, study, whatever you want to call this room, but it's where all my bears are. So we got lots of teddy bears here. But it is where I decided to retreat to so that I could read the meditation and not disturb my husband who's in the other room and not be disturbed by him because of his activities. So I decided I'm just going to do the meditation today. I've got the tarot cards here, but I am not sure I'm going to pull cards today. I think I'm just going to read through the meditation and give you that for today, and then tomorrow maybe do cards or what have you. So it's just a little bit of everything. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start reading this, and I hope that you enjoy it. And I did get up in time to do it, so I'm really happy about that. So today is day number 10. It's July 30th, 2025, and I call this Timing is Everything. I said, today I woke up reflecting on a decision that someone made about their life. It was not about me, but rather about a YouTube reader who had decided to give up reading and is retreating into a more simple life. And Nigel says, sometimes it is imperative for people to do for themselves. We may not always understand why, but we can understand the necessity of allowing oneself to embrace the parts of life that fascinate or interest them. Sometimes people must listen to that voice in their heart and allow it to guide them to a more nurturing means of expression. That is to do so without judgment or cynicism. The heart of a person. It's what gives is what guides them. And I think it's always the case, but at any rate, I continue. I get the impression that by creating a time capsule of one's life, specifically a time before one was born, is a way to embrace a part of a soul's journey. It is why certain time periods in history fascinate. Is that why certain time periods in history fascinate us? Nigel says, indeed. The time periods that are fascinating to you are glimpses of a plausible past life experience. I said, but it feels like recreating an experience. And Nigel says, not necessarily. When you decide to live out an experience a second time, then that is a conscious act of recreating a moment in time that is over and done. And when you want to recreate something that, like a time period, it is like capturing a precise moment in time that aligns with your heart's desire. Say you like a period during the world. Say you like a period during the world in the 1920s. You design costumes of that time, or you look in shops for period pieces to recreate a captured moment. I said, like the movie Somewhere in Time. It was a beautiful movie, but very sad. For as much as the character desired to live in that time period, he would not be able to stay because he saw a penny that held a future captive. I still remember that scene when he pulled the coins from his pocket and one of them was from the present day. And Nigel says, yes, and that is an aspect of it. There will always be that moment in that remnant of their present day involved. You're calling it a time capsule of sorts, is on an apt description. But like the penny, the time can only be captured in the four corners of his home. When he steps outside, then he will see that regardless of what he does, he still lives in the present moment. He chose this time in which to live, but still his fascination with a certain time in history will ultimately lead him on a journey of discovery, to discover the positive aspects of any time and bring them forth in today's reality. I said, I think it will be fascinating to watch his journey and see where it leads him. Nigel says, the key will be to find that sense of joy in living, and if that means creating something as an interpretation of that time, then that is a divinely inspired idea. And I said, I don't judge. We all have our paths and our heart's desires. In this, we are truly finding our path forward. And Nigel says, your earlier meditation does touch on this to some extent. I said, shall I begin? And Nigel says, please do. And I said, okay, start today or tomorrow, whatever you have planned for the future. Make the first step today, or just think about it a little bit more and relax on the sofa. Cats always can't seem to have the idea of procrastination. Whatever you start today, you can always put off until tomorrow. Nigel says, or you can test the energies and see what it is that makes the most sense to you. People often test the energies to determine when is the right time and instance will be the best to start a new project. I said the problem with that is often people see this as rationale to wait on doing the things that may be important. If I'm inspired to start something new, then I will begin regardless of how much I may think that I can put it off. Nigel says you will ultimately know when something is being put off or when it is divinely inspired. There will be that part of you that tells you as much. This is why it is that people are beginning to do the things that they are inspired to do. Sometimes people see the right moment to or or consult their internal clock, if you will, to determine the readability of their pursuit. That is to say that each person must determine if their desired intentions will reap the desired outcome. You see, not everything that you do has to be done immediately. Oftentimes things are catalyzed at a specific time and you can sense that outcome will be determined through your own ideas or words. Now is the time. Now I will achieve what it is I have set out to do. If you had tried it earlier, then you might not have had the easiest time. It goes back to your interpretation of the Two of Wands card and how you have a path to choose. If you were to study that card more intensely, you would see that one path led to a sunny skies and the other path led to thunderstorms and rain. It is that idea. You will know not only which path to choose, but when specifically the choice will come. And I have to pull that card now and show it to you because it is very true. In the Two of Wands, you can see here the sky. You have on one side, you have what looks like clouds and storming, because there looks like a bolt of lightning over here in the corner. And on the other side, you have the birds. Whoops, there it is. The birds that are flying above, and everything's fine and dandy. So when you look at that card and you see that, then you kind of wonder, yeah, is this the right time for me to do this? Is this the right decision? Which way should I go? And and you just figure it out and you just decide that you're going to go a certain way. So I just thought this was really interesting, and I think it's interesting that he made mention of that. Okay. Okay. It is that idea that you will not only know which path to choose when specifically the choice will come. I said allowing inspiration to give to guide me is rather significant, but I have learned that by putting things off prevents me from finding my highest good. Nigel said, if you know instinctively when to pursue an idea, then you will not only choose well, but when. I said, several years ago, I decided to become an amateur radio operator, or ham, and this idea became a driving force in me. The first time I saw a QSL card, that's the cards that we exchange for the radio. I remember saying it was in the end of the 90s. I remember saying, "Wow, these cards are really neat." I thought briefly about learning, and then taking the test to get my license, a call sign. Then I got distracted from the intention, and the whole notion sort of slipped my mind. What would have transpired if I had pursued the hobby back then? New friendships could have been formed, and I might have found that I had discovered something grand. Nigel said, "You should not regret what you could have or may have been. Instead, allow yourself to progress through the experiences that you have had. Sometimes the right moments will are further into the future. Sometimes the right moments are further into the future. By recognizing this, you can move onward through life without regrets. You could have tried it back in the 90s, but that was clearly not meant to be. Today, you understand that notion." I said, "Alas, I eventually got off the sofa, and in 2017, something ultimately happened. I found my way back to the idea and met the people who were active in the hobby. The universe, my angels and guides clearly wanted me to pursue it and no longer procrastinate on it. So I did, and in 2018 I obtained my novice license, which I used until March 2020, when I took the advanced test and passed it." Nigel said, "That was divinely inspired. During that 2017, when you got cancer, you worked towards your first license. You were able to use it, the studying, as a means of distraction from all of the things that you were contending with." I said, "Yes, and in March 2020, it was just before the lockdown. I couldn't do much, but at least I could talk to people on the radio. It was as though everything had fallen into place." And Nigel said, "Indeed." And I said, "So with the new call sign, I was able to talk to people from all around the world. And when COVID started 2 weeks later, my husband and I were not so isolated. We could talk to people through the radio. The sense of community grew, and when we were even when we were in lockdown. So although I had initially laid on the couch and watched the world go by, ultimately the obtaining of the license became my saving grace." Nigel said, "You found a perfect time to pursue it. If you had done this back in the 90s, then the motivation to talk to people may not have been there. Perhaps you needed the novelty of it during COVID to help you see you through that time." I said, "Yes, and when I acted on my instincts and pursued it. Today I am acting on my instincts and pursuing another goal, this one with an even longer procrastination period, like close to 30 years." And Nigel said, "You picked the time to pursue this as well." I said, "Yes, I studied for the first ham radio test while battling breast cancer, and now the recent U.S. election has jump-started me to apply for German citizenship." And Nigel said, "What did you learn from all of this?" I said that sometimes we have to go through some pretty dark times and events to realize that we have choices to make, that we can either drown in sorrow about what is happening, or we can make choices that could bring us to the light of a new day. I had to go through some pretty dark times to see the light, and so the one thing I can say is go for your bliss. Don't put it off. And the time that is right, and pursue your heart's desire. Nigel said, "It is important to note that each person will always know when it is necessary to start down the path to fulfillment. Once you do that, then you will know with absolute certainty that it is the way to go." I said, "Don't put it off if you know it is time to pursue it. Just keep at it. My guides and angels all know that I can be stubborn about things." And Nigel says, "Indeed, you can be." I said, "I learned that in order to overcome putting things off, I must simply persevere, and they will always be here to help me along." And Nigel says, "We all will always be with you." And I said, "I know. That's why I am so grateful to you." And Nigel says, "We are simply happy that you listen." And that's where we ended. So that was kind of short. It felt short, but it did take me a couple of hours to write it. So short it wasn't. But at any rate, it was really kind of interesting because people are making choices for their highest good, and I see this going on all around me, that people are deciding to make uh, the best of their situations and things, and they are doing so with an open mind and an open heart, and that I think is the most important thing. So I'm gonna pull some cards on this meditation on timing. Uh, is it a good idea to sometimes put things off? Is it a good idea to sometimes put things off and not charge forward and and try and do something? Is it a good idea to sometimes put things off and to wait? Um, I think that it is, but let's see what the cards have to say. So, and I got the Page of Cups. And Page of Cups, kind, loving, gentle energy that says be patient with yourself and to allow yourself the opportunities to move forward with things when you're ready to move forward, not necessarily jump into something with 2 feet and hope that you will land solidly on your feet, but that you just do it with love, kindness, love, compassion, and enjoy what it is you're doing. And as long as you're enjoying what you're doing, then everything should be okay. And that's crossed with the Seven of Swords. I think this is the contrary. This is like you're doing so much. Look how much he's carrying all these swords, and yet there's some still left on the ground. So that tends to imply that he's overburdened, that he's overburdened himself with these swords, and he can only carry so many. So you have to gauge how much you're willing to carry and how much you're willing to do. So when in the instance with me and studying for these tests or what have you, I had to find the right moment to do it and to pursue it. And then once I do that, then everything kind of falls into place. In the past, you have the Knight of Cups. And this is the charger. This is the person charging into battle. And although he may seem, it's interesting because we've got the Page of Cups and then you have the Knight of Cups, so it's kind of moving upward in the echelon of the Cups energy. So, are you willing to move forward? Are you willing to rear back your horse and charge into battle? Are you willing to take a chance on that and to try it? And then you get the Three of Pentacles. I think this is like excuse me. This is like trying to create something. And it looks like he is creating and he's showing. He said, "Look what I've made. Look what I've done. Look what I've created here." And maybe it's past successes, past events that someone feels that they have created that what they've accomplished in the past and what they feel they can accomplish in the future. Overarching energy is temperance. And temperance is that balance, finding that balance in making decisions and doing things, making the decision to do what it is you're going to do and not worry about what others are going to say or react to what you're doing. And in the immediate future, you have the Ace of Pentacles. It's a new journey. It's a new step in a new direction. And so when you're starting out and when you're deciding to sit down and you decide to do this, like the gentleman who decided to stop reading tarot and start doing something that he really feels passionate about, this is that new journey. This is that new beginning that he is making. And it's a new journey that we all make when we decide that we're going to step forward and we're going to do something new and different. And the next card is the Ten of Cups, which is celebration. This is like you made the decision and now you're celebrating that decision and celebrating the goodness that comes from having made that decision. It's a great card for this. How others see you as the Queen of Pentacles. They see you on top of the world. Everything is great, everything is wonderful. And yeah, this is like the outcome of this, of giving it a try. You have that that gentle and that prosperous energy that is going to meet you and develop you. How others might see you as the Nine of Wands. This is overburdened and overextended maybe. And it may not really apply, but it is how other people might view you. They might say, "Oh, you're just biting off more than you can chew. Why are you doing this? Why are you putting yourself through all of this instead of just doing the thing?" And that final outcome is the Six of Cups, which is that it's a childlike joy and wonder of the moment of doing the things that you love to do, and to come into that meadow and to experience all those wonderful things and the joyous things that uh, you thought may have been lost that are now you're finding, and you're discovering that it is a very, very special moment and special time. So that is what I get from this meditation and from this energy. And I think that it's very, very profound to walk into a new experience and to say, yeah, I'm going to give it a try. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how the outcome is going to be, but my heart feels like it's in the right place, and I feel like that it is going to be the right thing. So that is what I've got for you today, and I hope that you enjoyed that, and I hope that you will look at your activities and see what it is that you enjoy and what you love, and you move forward when you are ready, and when your guides tell you, they'll tell you, you'll know. There will be that feeling that I'm ready for this, and I'm ready for this moment, and I'm ready to begin. So I wish you good luck with that, and I hope you have a really great day. Sorry I'm so late getting this video up, but better late than never. So I wish you a wonderful day. Take care. And as always, namaste.